Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Today we're going to just finish off this drawing. Started a couple last time I was on, and we might see if anything else happens after this. So right now we're gonna keep going with the coloring of this little guy here, and as you can see, it's a humanish graveyard lurking, wearing old-fashioned clothes, covered in dry caked covered in mud, dry caked, pale skin, distorted face between human and animal. It likes to lick and smacking its lips together. So this is what I came up with. I'm in the process of coloring it. So we're just gonna finish up the coloring real quick, and hopefully this will get done today. So yep, we're here. So we're gonna, let's see. I think we'll do more of a grayish type color for the skin. So if I can maybe get some other stuff going, but this is where we're going to start. Now, after doing this and getting back in the groove of being able to draw on a more consistent basis, there's going to be, I'm going to do a bird soon. Bird out of Costa Rica. I thought it was really pretty. When I saw a picture of it, so I decided, what the hell? Is it really gonna be that much of an issue to paint it? So that's gonna be coming up soon. If I do a live of that, it'll probably be on my Twitch stream. So I don't know if I'll be doing it on Clapper or not, but it's definitely gonna be on my Twitch. And once I'm done with it, same with this, I'm gonna try to get everything onto my YouTube, which hopefully won't take too long. I just gotta do the editing and get all that crap done. So that's probably gonna be what I'm gonna be working on in the next couple days, is just editing these videos and getting them on all my other platforms. I mean, other than that, like I said, I will be doing the bird. I'm gonna keep doing the monster stuff and the creature drawings, because I need to still get better at doing creatures. And I still need to work. I'm also working on my anatomy, practicing. Obviously not on camera, but I'm trying to work more on my anatomy for humans and other animals, so I can try to get away from using references, although there's nothing wrong with using references. I just, my own personal is I'd rather not have to use references, but I have. I'm not gonna say I never use references. I use references a lot. So references I think are really great to start, for a starting place to learn anatomy. It gets you used to seeing how different body shapes work together, it gives you an idea of, which ways you can manipulate bodies and stuff like that. So yeah, if you use um references, that's fine. And like I said, it's a great way to expose yourself to other styles and other different types of anatomy. And just, I use references for how clothes look, because again, that's one thing clothes folds and all that kind of stuff aren't my forte, so to speak, as opposed to, well, nothing's really my forte. I just kind of draw whatever I want. So that's how I see it. But anywhere you can find places to improve what you're working on, in my book, it's a great place to look. I mean, that's why they're there, to be honest with you. I mean, they're not, people don't just put them out there just because they want to. I mean, they know, references do help people a real lot. So go ahead, whip out those references, use them, do what you want with them. Because I always find it better, to have something to look at as opposed to not really knowing what you're doing and just swinging it. I mean, just, like I could have just, actually I did for a while. I just looked at different bugs and tried to study what they looked like in different positions and how their anatomies worked. And I think it helped in some ways. I mean, I'm not a big bug monster, so I'm not gonna comment much on it because, like I said, that's not something I usually draw. But with this, with the creature creation I'm doing, I'm kind of hoping to, not have to rely on references so much than and I could just come up with something outside of on my own. I like to think I'm a pretty imaginative person, but there are times where it's, the imagination just doesn't click, or the art block kicks in, or you got all these other things that, just not feeling good if you just don't, if you don't see it in your drawing. And the only way to actually get better is to practice what you need to work on. Hence, again, that's why I'm doing creature practicing, because I know that I need help with the creature creation process. I've only been doing it for, I think this is like my third or fourth video on it. So, there are people way better that it's easier for them to come up, think of stuff that can really frighten people. I mean, as you can see, this isn't, the most frightening monster, but I would imagine if you saw this, coming out of the woodwork or down a dark alley or stepping out from the shadows, how would you feel? How would you feel by seeing this? What do you mean with this? It scared the shit out of me if I saw this thing, tumbling after me in a half lit room. But that's the fun of doing this. Unfortunately, I can't. There's been very little that's been, when I look up horror, like for movies or stuff. I mean, I can't say I've been scared of it, out of my pants in a rather long time. So that's kind of why I started getting into this, because I want something that will scare the crap out of me, but at the same time, I'm not looking. I know I'm not the best horror creature artist out there, so I do what looks okay to me, I should say. So yeah, that's my take on that. I mean, other than that, I mean, drawing as much as you can. I try to draw on a somewhat consistent basis. I know I'm not the best. I procrastinate. I put things on. I put things off that I shouldn't be, but at the same time, I'm only human. I do have a couple of health issues that kind of stop me from being able to get everything done that I want. So I take it day by day. I don't try to overdo it. I don't push I mean, well, okay, I'll lie. There are some days that I do push myself. There are some days that I do overdo it. I'm not perfect. But I'm learning to limit myself to what I can do and, kind of what I can't do. And learning those limits and working on those limits are going to get me into a better place physically and hopefully mentally. But like I said, just do what you can day by day. Make it easy. Don't overdo it. Take care of yourself, because some days you don't know if you're going to be able to or not. I just happen to have, I was your average everyday guy. I did everything and I overdid it, had too much stress, and my body kind of just gave out on me and said, screw you. If you're not going to take care of yourself, then this is what's going to happen. And unfortunately, something did. So I can't work anymore, which is fine with me. A little bit early than I wanted to retire, but kind of knowing that no matter what you do, you know, especially when you're used to working, it is just kind of, you gotta switch your life around, which is what I'm trying to do. But you can only do so much at a time. So don't overstress yourself about everything. take time to enjoy, your partner, your if you have one, kids if you have those, yeah, just family life overall. Um, let people know you care about them. Let people know that you want to know what's going on in their life, because some people just would rather not. And as much as I hate to say it, it happens. People come in and out of your life for different reasons. And you just gotta be able to see those reasons for what they are and either move on or deal with it. And unfortunately, having a medical thing is not something we just move away from, because it's with you. But you can manage it, um, and make life, better for you in the long run. Just do what your body is telling you is good for it. And don't wait until your body decides, okay, hey, enough is enough. And it decides for you, because you're not going to want that. Um, be it however your body decides, okay, this is enough. Mine was functional neurological disorder, which, yeah, it makes me, I have essential tremors. I can't walk without a walker. And I'm not as mobile as I used to be, so like I said, take care of yourself, people, because it's not always a fun thing if you can't. So we're gonna do some light coloring of gray in his face, just to get a base color of what I'm looking for this guy. And then we'll do, yeah, just do your basics. Let's get that black pencil go. Put that back here so I can do the news. Yeah, no, this isn't a black one. This is blue. I know you could have better setup for my pencils, but this is about the best I got right now. So what was I doing? Some buck teeth here. Let's see, some cranial bumps in here so we can outline his head. And like I said, I'm not a big one for horror, so I'm gonna try to make this as kind of nasty as I can. I just figure I kind of skimp on details. Um, so I'm also trying, to do more detail coloring, but because I've noticed that if I see something, if I see a good art piece, the first thing I do is, how can I get that to, look like my art? But I've been noticing that the more I do art, I notice it's just adding, you add some more. Add color here, add detail here, and it just, kind of makes the picture a lot sharper, a lot better. And I noticed that I could do that more than I am. Um, but with this kind of drawing, it's a little hard. Just more so for the fact that it's a small drawing. Can't put a shit ton of details in a small drawing. So yeah, that's the only thing I can do is make it look as grotesque, nasty as possible. And these eyes aren't gonna do any good either, because I can just not exactly what I wanted. And that's the thing, when you think you're gonna get something and it's not gonna be exactly what you want. It happens. So what we do is we just go with the flow. Take it any way you can, right? So just add some more details. So my original thought was to have, nice bright pink eyes, but yeah, that didn't happen. So we got pinkish blue, but they go with his suspenders. So there you go. Didn't even know I did that, but yeah, happy little accidents, as Bob Ross would say. It's just the way it came out. That's all. Yeah, I'm just trying to work my magic and get everything as done as I can until I get to a point where I think it looks good. And there are going to be people who are going to look at this and it sucks. And I understand. I'm not, but I'm trying. I'm working on it, doing what I can, and hopefully that will be enough to pay off. But see, I don't like, there's not enough darkness down here. So it's not, you don't get the difference between the face and you don't get the difference between the neck. So that, it's supposed to be, like it's crawling, not crawling. The face isn't it's out more. It doesn't look like it's out. It just looks like it kind of melds in with the chest, and that is something you don't want because it just you can't tell where it's coming from. I mean, if you were to look at this, it just looks like a regular. Let's see if that will do anything. It doesn't stick out, and part of that is probably because I still have the blue lines. I didn't blur everything out as good as I could have, but again, that's what happens when you're it's a sketchbook. It's just stuff I'm coming up with. It's not a finished piece. It's just practice. And that's what it comes down to. It's just practice, practice, practice. And there you go. I think I'll call that done for now. Yeah, so that's my picture of the day. Oops, it's just, there you go. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's I don't even have a name for it, so we'll leave it the way it is. So this is what, number 4? Yep, this is number 4. All right, so there you go. That is my humanish graveyard lurking creature. Probably could have done more details with the clothing. But like I said, still learning how to do that. It's not the best. But it is what it is. And it's a place, if anything, it's a place to start. I have there. Just to go over my plethora of bad guys here. You have this one, number 1, and number 2, and number 3. I like him. He's just weird looking. And then we have the zombie antler guy, number 4. And look, I already have another page ready to go. Just waiting for inspiration. This one is a bird creature about the size of a kiwi. It has 4 enormous wings, 2 strong clawed legs, and it has a wide, elegant tail. It has thick skin that is covered in short feathers, which come in either gold or dark pink or a combination of both. So, a little different. And considering I'll be doing a watercolor painting of a bird soon, might as well get back in the bird way of doing it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So, a bird creature about the size of a kiwi. Now, a kiwi's not big, obviously. So, what we're gonna do, kiwi-sized bird. If I'm right, kiwis don't have wings. Maybe they do, but I don't think they use them. So, but it doesn't need to look like a kiwi. It's just the size of a kiwi. So, let's get my thinking pencil out. And if anybody wants to know, by the way, it's a Fiber Castle Castile. This is a 6B pencil that I'm using. I hear 4B is better to use because it's not as dark. But To be honest with you, I can't find my 4B pencil, so I'm going to be using this one. All right, small bird with 4 wings and 2 clawed legs and a tail. Now the question is, how are we going to have this facing? It's going to be towards us, or is it going to be someplace else? Looking, we're going to have it looking. We'll have a rock, and we'll put a starting point. There we go. We have a little rocky outcropping here at the bottom, and we're just going to lightly just put in what a rock would look like. Like I said, this is just a starting point. It's not, we don't have to do anything. I just want my bird to be on a rock for some strange reason in my head. That's where I have it thinking. So we got the little rocky place for it to start. So it's got clawed legs, elegant, no, wide clawed legs, 2 strong clawed legs. Sorry, the tail is wide. I didn't put commas in my in my description this morning. So bird size with clawed legs. So we're gonna put the leg here. We're gonna make some claws going over the side of the rock here. Put that there. And we'll have the back leg, back claw going behind the rock, I guess you could say. I'll have this claw here. And we'll put one more here. So there's one leg. Put the other leg down here. Again, we'll put the back claw behind the rocks. Its feet here, so we have one claw down here. And we'll put one claw here. And we'll put the last one right next to it. There we go. Now we have the legs. Put this one up a little bit higher. Okay, so now for the bird. Dipper. Put the body out like that. Just any shape you think you want your bird to be. Yes, this still feels kind of like a kiwi, but we're just making a shape. Keep it loose, keep it light. You don't want to quite commit yet. As far as 4 enormous wings. All right, so 4 enormous wings. So I'm gonna kind of cut them in half. You're gonna put your first wing up here. Yeah, because he's stretching. He's stretching his wings out, getting ready to go do what he has to do. this one, this here, this over here, a little bit more there. That's one wing. No, those are actually two wings. So we're going to have two wings. And they said enormous, but can't make them too big because you need the bird to be able to lift itself off the ground. So here's another set of wings. And, you know, is it going to be, you got to think also, is it enormous from our standpoint, or is it enormous from the bird's standpoint? Because if the feathers are enormous from the bird standpoint, then they're not going to be, you know, really big feathers. They're just going to, I mean, really big wings. They're just going to kind of do that. So there. So we have a bird creature with two strong clawed legs, four wings, and they want it to be an elegant, wide, elegant tail. Okay, wide, elegant tail. So we're gonna put that in there. So wide. You know what? I'm gonna do this. A wide, elegant, flat tail. Because how are you really this is just my version of tail feathers for right now. But yeah, that's my basic starting point right there, which I think is actually pretty good. It's not, oops, let's try, that went the wrong way. Ha, ha, ha. Let's see something. Why is that not working correctly? There we go. Alrighty. Sorry, Clapper. I had to get my Twitch people looking at what we're looking at because they're different cameras. So, okay, so we have this. Now I need to do some type of head. We're gonna have, you know what? We're actually going to do this. I'm going to. No, no, don't mind me. I'm just thinking of how I'm gonna place the head. And where I'm gonna place it. I don't know if I want it. Do I want it looking, you know, straight out at us? Do I want the head a little bit farther down like a curvy snake? But it's a bird, so I'm gonna kind of stick with what I know. So we're going to just make a quick circle. Actually, I think I'll do this. There, that'll be his head. Now, of course, you're going to need a beak of some sort. So we'll I don't want it to be a very big beak. though. It's just kind of looking around for lunch maybe, or a mate or something. So that's what we're gonna think of. So if this is Ratty Beak. Yeah, because I don't want, yeah, I want it to be memorable. So we're gonna make his beak really memorable. Okay. There. Okay, now the beak is going to go up to these rocky points, bony points, I should say, on the crest here. Why? Why not? This is my bird. This is how I want my bird to look. So this is what we're gonna make. Some weird looking ass bird. Now these. I'm gonna make a double ridge thing here on its head. So that way it's got a couple different ways that it can show itself off to a mate. It's, you know, it's could be a sign of danger to predators. Whatever. I mean, it could just be the way it evolved. And that's what's great. It's your creation. You make your creation the way you want your creation to be. And nobody else can say otherwise. Because it's my book. It's my art. It's what I wanna do. So now we need an eye. We're just gonna kind of put the eye right about here. Now again, you know, it's not going to be perfect. It's just a placement. That's where I want my eye to be. So we have all this neat stuff going on now. We got the head, which I probably shouldn't have made that dark, but I did. So we have a head, body structure, got everything you need. Now all we got to do is add the details, put in some other features, make things more distinct. That's what we're going for right now. So I hope you guys are okay with how I'm doing so far. If not, let me know. I'm not gonna bite. Hell, if you guys don't want me doing this at all, say that, and I will stop, and I will try to do something else. But that's up to you guys. So until that time, I am not going to stop drawing as much as some of you probably want me to. Talking, I'm not really good at, but if you want, I can just replace my talking voice with some, you know, lo-fi beats or something that you guys would rather listen to. All right, so I'm going to add some neck folds here. I don't want it to look like a turkey, mind you. It's just going I'm kind of hoping it looks more like tufts of feathers. At least that's my plan. And what I mean by tufts, I mean as long as it looks like layers of feathers, I should say. Maybe not. Maybe tufts isn't the right word. Um, so yeah, I mean there are birds that have crowns of feathers around their face, which is kind of what I'm going for at this point. I mean, it's not gonna. It really is not gonna be the best. Like I said, this is just thoughts of coloration purposes. To be honest with you, how is how is it gonna look? What are the animals' markings? Stuff like that. Um, put a spot for the beak. That's where the head, and there we go. See that? See? Not the best, I'll admit it. But like I said, it's a work in progress. It's not. As much as I tell myself I don't want to make tutorials because I am not the tutorial kind of person. And what I mean by that is it's just, I don't know all the special terms by name. I don't know, if I should be saying something different. This, it, I'm pretty much self-taught. These are things that I know how to do on my own. It's not, in no way is it, oh my God, don't take everything I say completely, just kind of work it. If the way I draw is interesting to you, then that's great. Just, you can take the way I do things, incorporate those ways if it's something you want to do. Incorporate those ways into your drawings. Like I follow a channel called Draw Sessions on YouTube, and I love the way he presents himself. It's I'm kind of trying to emulate it. He's very, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. This is why we're doing it. I don't have the confidence in myself to say, okay, this is, maybe if you do something this way or if you do something this way, but that's not who I am. People, everybody's different. Everybody's going to do things their own way. So, if my stuff helps, feel free. Take away something that you think will help your art, and incorporate it. I'm not the art police. I'm not going to say no, just don't copyright people. Don't do copyright infringement, and just take whatever you can. If you do, and you want to give credit, give credit where credit is due. Basically, I'm not gonna Yeah, you know what? I have no clue what I'm saying. What I'm saying right now. I'm just trying to focus on how this wing is supposed to come out. And that's kind of what gets in the way of me doing like voiceovers because I get very involved in my art process. Um, so I you know I try not to overthink. I do, and I think that's kind of normal for most people. But you know, I don't want to just. Sorry, I also don't go off of scripts. I'm not a script writer. I'm really not. I mean, I probably should, to be honest with you. It might make my videos more entertaining. But you know, I also, since I don't like to do that, that's why I go, you know, kind of just say what pops into my head. I'm not the best at it. I hate public speaking, as, as you can probably tell. But when I was making videos in the beginning, it was just music over my drawing, and it was a speed time lapse type drawings. Um, Now I'm trying to get more open communication. I'm trying to talk more to become more confident in what I can do. And I feel this is right now, this is one of the few ways I can do that. Um, because it's just, you know, I'm basically talking into a microphone. You know, if there were people around me or in the same room, would I be talking like this? Probably not. I'm usually the guy in the corner of the room, you know, playing with the kids or playing with the dogs. I'm not one to generally, you know, get up and chit chat with people. So I'm hoping that by doing more of the chit chatting, you know, be it just into a microphone, I'm, you know, I'm trying to get out of my, you know, oh, woe is me type of thoughts, or not so much woe is me, but you know, the okay, we it's, you know, I love meeting new people, and you know, I like going places, but at the same time, with with the social anxiety, it's sometimes it's not, you know, the best thing. I'm not the best at it, and as much as I hate saying that, it's, you know, it's the truth. I'm not gonna, you know, sit here and lie to you. It's just, that's just the way I am. But I know I need to be more social. So hence the voiceovers, because I know even though it's just a microphone, you know, I'm still trying to get my you know, my body used to saying, oh, okay, you know, I'm gonna go here Like if I want to go to like a Comic-Con, or if I want to, just even to a friend's house, or even, your family's house, you want to be able to sit there and chat with people. I mean, I remember a long time ago, I was the one who would, fall. I would be, Christmas get together or whatever. I was in my 40s, 30s, and I would be the one, falling asleep on the couch. So, but that's just me. I don't want to wallow. I don't want to self pity. I don't want to do any of that crap. It's just, this is what happens when I talk. I don't know what to talk about, so I just chit chat. But yeah, so we have we are getting pretty much a good beginning for this avian bird, which is great because I really actually do like the way it's coming out. So yeah, that's kind of my life story. Not that any of you guys actually wanted to hear it, but yeah, thank you for letting me get it off my chest. As I know, they always say strangers on the internet are nicer than you think. So yeah, I'm taking that chance. You guys, I mean, so far I really haven't had any issues with anybody. No one's been trolling me. No one, you know, tells me my art is disgusting. It's just I also know that I'm not, probably not the first person people go to look at art content on the internet. Um, there are a lot more better artists on the internet than me. So, but as long as I can make a couple people happy, or, you know, just look at, the way I do things and say, okay, you know, I'm better than him, or, maybe I give you ideas on how to level up your own drawings, then that's great. And that's the one thing I want to get out of this is that people like it, people enjoy it, and if something comes out of it, then something comes out of it. If I help somebody, I help somebody, which is great. So that's what we're going with these types of videos, because drawing helps me with my anxiety, and like I said, it's kind of helping me with the social anxiety aspect of it because I'm here talking to you people. Um, I know it's not a daily basis that I'm talking to you guys, but it's more than I would be doing if I was just, outside or at a function or something. I just personally, I couldn't do that. So because it my social just wouldn't let me. But it's coming out good. I like it. It's not exactly what I was thinking when I first, you know, saw the prompt and was like, oh, this is exactly what I'm going to do. No, and that's what's great about it is that you don't know um, yes, you have an idea. You have that first, initial thought of, oh, this bird, this creature I'm making is going to be the coolest looking thing on the planet. And doing it this way, you maybe it's not exactly how you thought it would be, which is why I like these kinds of prompts. Because they don't, you have to think of the picture. And the more you think of the picture and the more you do, it could turn out completely different than what you thought it was going to look like. So, but that's just my point of view. I didn't mean it to look like a kiwi, but it does. So that's how it's going to be. Maybe we'll tail here. It's the bottom of its body here. My dog is in my room. Okay. So we got that. All right, so we have the basic bird forms done. Might still play around with the tail. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. Again, it's a discovery process. It's the who knows what's going to happen process. And that's one of the things that I like about drawing, because like I said, you have your initial thought, and it usually does not come out the way you think it's going to the first time around. So let's see, what else can I do? Okay. All right. This is my body telling me I need to move or do something else, because now I can't stop the shaking. So I'm going to go relax, lay down, do something else, get my body back under control. And I'll be back to finish this guy, and we'll go from there. But that's the beginning. Thank you, everybody, for showing up to my TED Talk. And just chilling and relaxing with me. Again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to everybody today. And if you would be so kind as to, give me a like, maybe a follow, maybe a subscribe if you're looking at Twitch, or, you can always go to my YouTube channel and, look at my stuff there. Okay. So, yeah, until next time, y'all have a great day. All right. Bye.